Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at FL Studio Mobile and 5 essential things you should definitely know about to make your music making easier and more enjoyable, and you'll be able to do some really cool stuff. Right, okay, first of all, I am going to create a synth. I'll use maybe the GMS synth, and I'll just pick keyboard sound here, electric. Close this, and here's that sound. Right, we don't need that MIDI clip there. So this is all about layering synthesizers, not just effects. So you see we have our GM synth here, and we can hear it's got loads of delay in it. So let's take some of that off, shall we? So okay, so we all know that we can add in an effect, just something like a reverb, right? However, you can also stack instruments, not just. So I'm gonna look, I'm going to replace this with another synth, and I'll use maybe another GMS synth. Right now, I'm going to choose a patch from here, maybe another keyboard sound, or yeah, let's put a pad sound in underneath, right? This drama thriller one, don't know how it will sound, but now we've got this pad stacked on top of this electric piano. Maybe if you wanted to, you could go in and add a DW sampler in there as well. Choose a patch from there. Let's maybe choose an orchestral patch, maybe an organ sound. Okay, let's move this up a little bit. Sorry, the actual whole thing. So I am going to take that up an octave. Open this and take the mix down a little bit. So now I've got 3 synths stacked on top of each other, 2 GM synths and a DW sampler. So you can build up really complex multi-layered synths, and of course you can add effects anytime you like. We could just add maybe we could add in a reverb. Let's add a reverb in here, but let's just move this reverb up so the reverb is only affecting the 2 GM synths and not the organ sound. And then maybe you could say, well, maybe I would like a tape delay on the organ and the 2 synths. Now you've got a really unique patch that you wouldn't have been able to have before. Right, okay, so let's add in another direct wave sampler. Now this time I'm going to show you how you can make instruments from your own files. So if we go to my files here, you will see I have a folder called My Samples. I'm going to click on this, and in My Samples you see I have a bunch of stuff. Now part of this is let me see now, I've got T7C instruments. I'm going to click on this, I'm going to go to instruments, I'm going to go to flute and sample these, maybe this one, right? So once I've selected it, it'll be there, and now I know that all these have been recorded in C. Now this is a great tip if you're making samples for yourself out of single shot instruments. Use C. Okay, because what happens with samplers, they will map to C and you won't have to do any retuning and stuff like that. They'll make your life really easy. Right, let's close this now, close this window. We don't need that MIDI clip neither, so I'll just delete that. Let's look at this now. This is our sampling, and here's our flute sound. Let's drop that down. Still sounds pretty kind of fakeish, but let's bring the release up a little bit now. We have a filter we can play with. We switch it on. Let's choose a low pass. Let's make a bit of adjustment in the volume with the leveler. And again, you can go and do the same thing. You can add another module. So maybe we could add another DW sampler and go to our patches here, go to my files. I'll go to my samples. I'll choose another instrument from in here. And this time I will choose something like a glockenspiel. And you'll see they're all recorded in C from Cymatics Pandora collection. So let's choose this one, click. Let's do the release. It's a bit loud in the mix there, so let's and maybe we could drown this in a great big massive reverb from Reverb 2. Let's have a look. And make adjustment to the overall volume. So there's two tips for you. How to layer instruments and how to use your own samples to make your own instruments. Right, okay, tip number 3, essential tip number 3, managing your files. It's all right, we say, right, let's add in like another DW sampler. And we look here and we go into my files and my samples. You'll see all these in here. How do we get them in here? Right, okay, so most of you will know these things, but this is a really easy thing to do. So pay attention to what's in here. We have samples and loops and stuff like that. I think there's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folders, right? Let's close that for a moment and close this. And let's go to our Files app. So you open your Files app, find On My iPad and scroll down to you see FL Studio Mobile, right? Open this and you will see in here my samples, which reflects what's already in there. And there are the files that we have. If I go to my T7 hard drive now, where I have loads and loads of other stuff, I'll scroll down till I can find something. What I shall do is open maybe, I don't know, TSTR sample packs. Now, if you're a patron, you'll already have all these. But now, for example, we could go, right, okay, let's import these hyper effects. What's in here? We've got a bunch of stuff. So depending on the size of the file, I'm going to select this and I'm going to hit select there. And first of all, I'm going to duplicate it because I want it to stay where it is inside of my hard drive, right? So just in case it actually does decide to move it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. So now we have hyper effects, a copy of exactly what we've had, right? So that's just kind of a tip. Right, now hit select, choose the file you want to move, tap like this, and down at the bottom here you will see it says move. I'm going to click move and you'll see it comes up as my samples. Now if you can't find it, all you need to do is literally just search again, like on my iPad, go and find FL Studio. Let's do this. I'm trying to scroll up my fingers here. It should be here somewhere. There we go. FL Studio, and then my samples. There they are. Click on here and then you'll find them there. And all you need to do is hit copy. And you will see it will copy those files over to FL Studio, just like that. Okay, from wherever you had them on your iPad, if you've downloaded them, if they're in your downloads, etc. Basically, wherever you've put them. And you can actually go in and check anytime you like. You could go to say, well, I'm going to go to on my iPad just to make sure these have installed. Go and find our FL Studio again. There we go, there it is. Click it open, click my samples, and you will see, where is it? HyperFX 2 has now been installed. That means that we can now go back to FL Studio Mobile. And when you get back to FL here, all we need to do is go and look at our direct wave sampler, click on the patch, you know, where you select your patches here at the top, go to My Files, go to My Samples, and there it is, HyperFX 2. So now we can click on this, choose an impact, say, and load it in, and let's play that. So that's how you get your imported samples inside of Direct Wave Sampler, or anywhere else you want that will deal with samples inside of FL Studio Mobile. Here's another really good one. This is the, I think, is this number 4? Number 4. You should use Slicer a lot. It's really, really great, right? So open your Slicer. Now, this is great. It's not just for drums, although it does work brilliantly with drums. But again, if we go into My Files and My Samples, it's exactly the same folder. You'll see I have one called Electronic Sounds Plasmatic Drum Loops 4. And if I click on one of these to import it, maybe this one. What's great now is that this, because it's all been sliced in Slicer, it's just an ordinary drum loop. We can play it in on our keyboard, or we can rearrange the slices to something else. And if I just maybe make a few more I can add a few more in as well, you know, so we've got kind of a fill going on made from that loop. So if I close this now, I'll open this up actually, and I'll just solo it because it'll sound a mess, but with what's already there sort of thing. But and of course we can now speed it up. So if we say, well, okay, well, let's speed this up to, say, I don't know, 120. Okay, so import your own loops and stuff, and it doesn't just have to be drums, it can be anything. And of course you've then got complete control over the slices. It's really, really good. I think it's great stuff. I do. Right, last tip, and then I'll play this little thing for you. Last tip, I don't need this now as well, so I'm going to long hold and delete that channel. Yep, I'm going to long hold and delete this channel as well, and you'll be getting an idea of, it really is very powerful, FL Studio Mobile. It's really great. And I have no affiliation whatsoever with Magellan, nothing. I bought this program and I buy it IAPs because I really enjoy using it. It's good fun. Right, audio recording. You may think this is pretty obvious, right? If I press this and hit audio record, right? First of all, it will kind of default to what's coming in through my microphone. Now, my microphone is already coming through a UM, so we don't need to worry about that. But there's no real indicator of how you can actually, so you've got a record button up here, but there's no real indicator of how you change. Like I've got my audio interface and that's got 8 inputs, okay? So I want to change the input. I have my little Arturia Minifreak synthesizer plugged into channels 3 and 4. So to do this, we have to go here. Now, there's a couple of things here. This is see, I've got it 3 and 4, so I can choose any of the others. This would be monitoring me, number 1 now, so you can see my voice coming in as well here, but I don't want that, obviously. I want to monitor 3 and 4, and if I turn my synth up, let me just stop that because it tends to want to record when it's an audio track when you hit something. You can see it's getting information in, but we can't hear it. Now we can hear it. Let's change the sound. So that's the sound of my mini freak synth. And if I hit record now, it still won't record. To get it to record, you need to arm record. Okay, so that's really important. So there's a couple of steps you need to take. You need to go into the actual, when you set your audio channel, you need to go into its track view. You need to make sure that, let's change that sound. You need to make sure that your monitoring is armed. And you also need to make sure that record is armed before you start recording, and then everything that you play will be recorded in as normal. And guys, there it is. There are 5 really, really cool things you can do with FL Studio that you may or may not know about. I'm guessing if you're a kind of a power user for FL Studio Mobile, you will know about it. But, you know, if you're beginning and there's certain things you want to do, like basically record an instrument in, or get your own samples in there, make your own instrument with DW Sampler, how to manage your audio files from outside of the app with the Files app, that kind of cool stuff, you know. Import your own drum loops into Slicer is a really good way. You don't have to even mess with your drum loop, but you'll have complete control over the tempo. It's really cool beans. Anyway, top job. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Ta-ra.